What I'm about to tell you happened exactly 1 year ago, and I still wake up at night wondering if it was real. There are some things you can't unsee, some moments that replay in your mind like a broken film reel, over and over again. This is one of them. It was a Tuesday, late November, the kind of night where the highway stretches endlessly into darkness and you start to feel like the only person left alive. I've been working construction in rural Nevada, 16-hour days, brutal work, the kind that turns your muscles to stone and your mind to fog. That particular night, the job ran late, very late. By the time I climbed into my truck, it was past 11. The highway ahead was a 2-hour drive through absolute nothingness. No streetlights, no other cars, just me and the void. I made it about 40 minutes before exhaustion hit me like a hammer. My eyelids were heavy, my thoughts were drifting. The road started blurring. I knew I had to stop. So when I saw the glow of a gas station in the distance, I pulled in. The place was empty, completely empty. One flickering overhead light, a cracked concrete lot, and that eerie silence that only exists in the middle of nowhere. I filled my tank, bought an energy drink I didn't open, and stood beside my truck for a long moment, debating whether to push through or rest. My body made the decision for me. I climbed back in, locked the doors, reclined my seat. Just 20 minutes, I told myself. 20 minutes. I woke to absolute silence. The gas station lights were still flickering above me. My phone said I'd been out for almost an hour. No other cars had come or gone. I sat up, rubbed my face, started the engine, and pulled back onto the highway. Everything felt normal for about 15 minutes. Then I heard it. Thump, soft, muffled, coming from behind me. I turned the radio down, listened. Thump, thump, speed up slightly. I checked my rearview mirror. Nothing, just the dark highway behind me. I told myself it was one of my tools, something shifting around in the truck bed. But my hands tightened on the wheel, and my heart started beating just a little faster. The thumping continued, rhythmic, deliberate. Finally, I slapped the dashboard and said out loud, "Whatever that is, knock it off." And it stopped. Instantly. That's when I should have pulled over. That's when I should have known. But I didn't. 5 minutes later, there was a crash. Loud, violent, the sound of glass shattering. I looked in my rearview mirror, and my blood turned to ice. There was a man standing in the bed of my truck, holding one of my tools, slamming it into my rear window again, and again, and again. His movements weren't human. They were frantic, wild, like something trapped and desperate to escape. I screamed. My truck swerved violently across both lanes. Somehow, I didn't flip. Somehow, I made it to the shoulder. I threw open my door and ran to the back. The man leaped out of the truck bed and sprinted into the trees. I started to chase him. 3 steps. That's all it took before my brain caught up with my body. Pitch black forest. Middle of nowhere. No weapon. No help. I turned and ran back to my truck. That's when I saw it. A black trash bag, sitting in the truck bed. Small, wrapped tight with duct tape, and wet. The smell hit me next. Rotten, metallic, something wrong. I didn't think. I grabbed it and hurled it into the woods as hard as I could. Then I got in my truck, and I drove. I didn't stop until I reached the next town. Didn't look back. Didn't slow down. When I finally pulled into a well-lit parking lot and looked at my hands, they were stained dark red. Here's the part that still keeps me awake. The only way that man could have gotten into my truck was while I was asleep, at that gas station, which means he climbed in, laid completely flat, and stayed silent while I drove for 15 minutes, listening to my music, hearing me breathe, waiting. I never called the police. I got my window fixed, threw away those jeans, and tried to forget. But I learned something that night, something I'll never forget. You don't always notice when someone joins your ride. Sometimes they're already there, and sometimes they've been there the whole time. Voiceover direction notes. Start slow and mysterious. Build tension gradually through pacing. Use strategic pauses for maximum impact. Voice should drop to whisper during most suspenseful moments. Speed up during action sequences, the crash, the chase. End with slow, haunting delivery. Background sound effects recommended. Highway ambience, engine sounds, distant thumping, glass breaking. Total estimated runtime, 6-8 minutes depending on pacing.